Hello everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join this England Colleges Playing Opportunities webinar. I'm Mike Hart, the Schools and Colleges Manager at the RFU, and I'm joined by Pete Chapman, England Colleges RFU Operations Chair, and Andy Perleski, AoC Sport Competitions Manager. The intention of the webinar is to outline the college playing calendar for 22-23, which aims to support all player motivations and abilities. We really hope that this webinar supports you in your entries, understanding and ensuring that we get an enjoyable player experience for all your college learners. What we'll cover across the webinar is an outline of the programme and how and why we got there. We'll look at the Boys and Girls League programme, the England Colleges Cup, which looks to build on the success from this year, but also some details around how to enter and a few rule changes as we go through the year. I think it's important to understand actually where we've come from. So just the end of the season 21-22, which was a return to rugby after the COVID years, and just remind ourselves of actually what we've achieved this year. Whereas the success of this year was always around that re-engagement of the sector, rebuilding the competition programme and retaining the players we had pre-COVID, with safety, inclusivity at the heart of everything, and importance that we had that game-wide collaboration, philosophy and teamwork throughout. In celebrating our success, we've actually had more teams play more games this year than pre-COVID, although there has been some challenges along the way, but it's important to celebrate that. More teams, more games being played prior to the COVID outbreak. As we change to season 22-23, our focus will still be on safety and inclusivity, but we want to re-engage with the sector and enhance and expand our playing offer as we listen to the sector and as we work in partnership together to strengthen the programme, so that game-wide collaboration, philosophy and teamwork continues as a theme throughout. The programme has been planned in partnership. We have a formal partnership with England Colleges RFU, AoC Sport and the RFU, and we've worked together to provide a comprehensive structured playing provision for colleges. And of course, the colleges are that fourth member of that credibility, shared outcomes and relationship of that key partnership. So please do keep that two-way transparency and feedback coming through to us. The principles, as they were this year, continue to be around reducing overplaying of players, increasing the development whilst providing inclusive, competitive and appropriate competitions, cup, fixture exchange and flexible opportunities which cater for all playing skills and motivations. And a great way to put the principles to life in terms of a little bit of a picture, the college's playing framework there, which looks at all skills and motivations running from performance, progression, participation and recreation, supporting skills, levels and motivations of players whilst encompassing all the different playing formats from touch, modified contact, ex-rugby and the full contact 15-a-side game. I'll now hand over to Andy, who will outline the league programme to give you a better understanding of what's available and how you can sign up. Andy, over to you.
Thanks, Mike. So just to say, to start with, thank you to everyone who competed in 21-22 season. It was great to get back to playing rugby. And thank you for the feedback that has enabled the partnership to make the changes that we're going to put before you in a few minutes. So as in previous years, the entries are all being handled by AoC Sport through our Nakoda competition management system. And email invitations have been sent to the designated person in each college. But of course, you may not have received one. If that's the case, please contact Sarah Cochran, whose email is there on the screen, and you should also contact her if you've got any questions whatsoever about the content of this presentation. Entries should be received by the 27th of May, and if you're watching this after the 27th of May, don't panic, because we will still accept late entries right up till the start of September, as long as there are spaces in the competition. So moving on to the competitions themselves. So for this year in the Men's Premier League, we've added an additional application process. And the reason behind this is we need to be sure that the colleges that are entering that competition understand the commitments that are involved. So as you can see, we will expect teams to commit to fixture completion, because that hasn't been as good as it should be in the past, and high standards of administration. We can only have a successful team if there's good communication between teams and between AoC Sport and the teams, and if teams recognise the importance of getting results in, players registered, etc. It's important to say that this year, that Academy Leagues players are excluded from playing in the Men's Premier League. So once the DICE competition is finished, those players who enter the Academy League in the spring cannot play in the Premier League. And it's important to say that once again, we'll be having a playoff competition and working forward to a final, which will be held at the end of the season. So the next level is our men's regional competitions. And in the regional leagues, we're looking to be, excuse me, slightly more localized. This year, we really want you to use the game on principles, and that is that we play at every eventuality. So just because you haven't got 15 players means you don't cancel. So flexible format is the aim of the game, looking to get as many games played as possible. We've also got regional participation competitions, and they'll take the form of ex-rugby festivals, and they'll be delivered in each region where there is a demand. Moving on to the women's game. So the Women's Performance League will this year be by invitation only. And those teams will be divided into 2 groups, and the best 2 teams in that competition will be invited to our showcase final. At the next level of the women's game, we have our progression leagues. The aim here is that we work towards 15-side competition, but we recognise that that may not always be possible. So we'll be looking for a flexible approach and the use of the Inner Warrior series. And once again, in this level, we will be looking to run a showcase final. For the participation level, we've planned 4 Inner Warrior festivals that will be held throughout the season. And we'll be looking for some of the new colleges to take part in those events.
Mike, I just want to talk about the ECRFU Men's Under 18 Cup, which again this year will be scheduled for post-Christmas, with the aim of providing meaningful competition for all of the regional league teams. As you will note, the first rounds again will be in pools, which ensure everybody has a number of games prior to moving towards a knockout stage from the round of 16 onwards. You will note that the Premier League will be continuing post-Christmas, along with the conference competition for Premier League sides. As such, the ECRFU Cup is not for Premier League teams. It is purely aimed at the regional league teams themselves. Also, it is key that Premier League players should therefore not be played in the competition. This links with a comment linked from the very start outlined by Mike, where the competition structure has been created to help manage playing time for players in the college sector and to enable them to play within the appropriate competition and at the appropriate level. The first year of running the ECRFU Men's Cup was a great start for us all and a real success upon which we aim to build and encourage more of the regional sides to get involved and therefore lead to a great cup for 2022-23.
Thanks, Pete. If we have a look at a few little key rule changes now. So we've done some work on the 19 program, listening to colleges, trying to be just transparent around the programme and understanding the changing landscape of the college sector. So Pete, could you give us an update in terms of actually what under-19s can and can't do within the college game?
Yeah, many thanks again, Mike. I think it's really important to say is right at the beginning of this presentation, Mike alluded to a factor with having a real partnership working, and the college sector themselves feeding into us around the under-19s, AoC Sport, RFU and ECRFU have worked really hard over the last 2 years with regards to this under-19 issue that's been coming up. As a result, an amendment to Regulation 15 looking to allow under-19 players to play down in the men's and women's under-18 college competitions went through to RFU governance on Tuesday, 24th of May, and will be implemented for the season of 22-23. The regulation addition will allow third-year learners in college to play in college under-18 competitions. Colleges will be required to submit an application for a learner to play down directly to ECRFU. Players must be in their third year of study in year 2 of their level 3 programme of an ESFA funded course, thus clearly being a progressing learner who requires a third year to complete their course of study within the college. All under-19 players must be approved through the ECRFU process to be eligible to play in college under-18 matches. And all college games will continue to be played at the age grade regulations as set out in Regulation 15, and as such under the age grade disciplinary process. We just want to share with you the good news of moving to this way with the under-19 programme. Thanks, Mike.
That's great. Thanks, Pete. And then just one thing for me, where schools and colleges play together in a competition, we're also looking at the implications of that. So there'll be further details to follow there. Andy, a few other bits from AoC point of view, if you want to touch on for us, please.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. One of the most important elements of feedback we've received this year is about the frustration at matches that aren't played, and we share that with you. So we introduced a slight rule change this year. So for this year, where the result of the match is not recorded on the coder within 2 weeks of the fixture, the match will be recorded as a 0-0 draw and no game points awarded. What we've done in previous years is carry that exercise out at the end of the season. Now, I'm sure that once you see that this has happened to one of your fixtures, you may take some action. And therefore, if that happens to you, you may apply to have the result removed once you have created a new date for the fixture. And we hope that this rule change will lead to better fixture completion than in previous years. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. So just from me, really, it's just a massive thank you for listening. Thanks to Pete and Andy and others that have been involved in shaping the programme. Please do help us to continue to shape the playing offer. A plea from us all, as Andy's just mentioned, actually in supporting through open dialogue. Please do report and record fixtures. It really does help us understand the landscape and jump on things early, supporting colleges where we need extra games or lacking of numbers, so we can actually put some implications and some support towards you. So please do help us in recording those fixtures and working with us. So massive thanks. If you have any further questions, please do contact Sarah Cochran. Her email's on the screen there. Keep in touch with us at Ing Rugby Colleges on Twitter, or colleges at RFU, or competitions at AoCsport.com. We look forward to working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.